Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Well, welcome to the weekend, to the Talking Real Money weekend. I'm Don McDonald along with Tom Cock, and we're here to, well, generally what we do is we talk about money with you, and you can join us at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
The lawn is mowed, the vegetables are watered, and now it's time to talk about money.
Yes, it is indeed. And by the way, I just wanted to thank all of the podcast listeners from Friday who sent me nice notes. We did get one today.
Got another one today.
Yeah. Who sent me all the nice notes. I had mentioned on the Friday podcast that my family got some really bad news that becomes worse by the minute. By the day, about my brother had a really massive heart attack, didn't get revived very quickly. He's at Columbia Presbyterian in New York, which is a great hospital, but they tried everything they could, and he's not going to make it. So the prognosis was bad. I said, well, now the prognosis is terrible. So there's just no brain activity. So we're just working on that issue right now with the family. So I want to thank you all very much for all the kind thoughts. I truly appreciate it. It meant a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got some people wrote some very thoughtful things. Yeah. And I share those sentiments, of course. And, we're all thinking about you and your family, and that is incredibly difficult circumstance, and you've chosen, I guess I made you, but you've chosen to be here to do the show, so thank you for that.
Well, I'd rather be doing the show than not doing the show. I really would. I'd rather be doing the show. I get it. So. I'm not good at wallowing in grief. I don't do that very well. I just don't do it well. I'm not good at it. So if you have something you have going on in your life that involves money.
Wallowing in bad investments. Which there's plenty of going on right now.
Give us a call, 855-935-TALK. And yes, Thomas.
Yes?
You started to say something.
I didn't say anything.
You went.
Finally.
And well? Oh. Okay.
If I did, I didn't.
I thought you had something important.
I was going to talk about the bear market.
That's what that's what I thought we set you up for.
Oh, yeah, the bear market, technically, right now, the Standard & Poor's is no longer in a bear.
So we're not a bear anymore.
The diversified portfolio is only down 15.6% year to date. That's certainly not a bear market. A bear market is 20%. Next hour, we're going to talk about what to do in a recession, even though technically a recession requires 2 quarters of negative growth.
Which we haven't had.
That sounds like an oxymoron, negative growth. But anyway, we've not had. But there's a lot of people anticipating that. But the question always is, what do I do? How do I invest in a bear market, Don? What should I do?
Oh, and there's so much advice out there. You hear it all the time on CNBC, particularly. It's all over the place there. Fox Business, that you hear about, and this was so well stated. We talk about this a lot, but Jason Zweig just does this wonderful job. He's a writer for the Wall Street Journal of getting to the meat of the issue. And the things they talk about in these programs are things like capitulation. There needs to be market capitulation. There needs to be blood in the streets.
Throw in the towel
right.
And say, never going to own stocks again because look at what it does to me.
Or the fear factor needs to be off the charts. The VIX needs to be all over the place. Or stocks have to go way down. I don't know how is. I haven't had a cough lately, so I haven't needed my VIX.
That is the volatility index.
That stuff he knows.
And I don't think it's spiked the way it did in, 2008, where it spiked so much that a TV reporter came and interviewed me about, you can invest in fear? Well, yeah,
you can invest. You can invest in fear.
bad idea, of course. But
let's see how it's done. Let's see. I found it. I pulled it up. Let's see. March 13th, 2020, the VIX spiked to 66.
Yep.
Right now, it's about 26, which means there's...
But let's make sure people understand.
This
for
is
those
an
of you old
index
enough to
of
remember
volatility.
March 2020, which was a pretty difficult time because we were heading into the pandemic and the end of the world as we know it was upon us.
The only time that got even close to the level of March 2020 was back in October 2008 when it was about 60. Yeah. It was about the same range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's been as low as, 9 or so.
Yeah. So it's how people feel about the immediate future of volatility. And by the way, I love the next one, though. Stocks have to get cheaper.
Right.
Then we'll know. Then we'll know. We will know then, Don. Count on it.
Well, and that's where he really gets into some interesting things that he says about this. So let's talk about this after the break. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. I'm Don. That's Tom. Talking real money.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at Vestory.com, Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Once again, phone number here is 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. So what do you do? How do you know when to do something? Everybody wants to do something. Stocks have been down. I want to do something. But listen to this from Jason Zweig of the Wall Street Journal. First off, he basically says you need to determine what you can control and what you can't. And so he says, should you distinguish what you can control from what you can't, instead of wasting your time trying to read the market's tea leaves, take charge of the risks you run, the taxes you incur, and your investing time horizon. And I'd like to add something to that. Your needs for the money. Those should all factor into it.
Yeah, they have a tendency to overlook. They get caught up in kind of what's happening day to day, and they don't step back and look at it. I mean, there's a few other things he recommends, which I agree. You can, of course, book losses right now if you have money in taxable type accounts. Mm-hmm. That's not IRAs or Roths. You can deduct $3,000 of that against ordinary income, but you could also deduct that against other earnings, right, from other places, non-income type of earnings.
Right. Right, yeah. Up to 3,000 a year. Up to 3,000.
And then this is another good time to convert your pre-tax like IRAs, individual retirement account money, into a Roth because the amount is lower, right? Because the market's gone down. You move a bunch of that over time the market goes back up, and it's now in a Roth where it grows tax-free. Pretty slick.
855-935-TALK is our number. Jim, you're up first. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Our pleasure, Jim.
Hey, I got a question. Hey, so my father and my mother, they're both turning 90 this year. Mm-hmm. And my father had a non-qualified annuity that he opened in 1994. And he got a letter just last month saying, you got to do something now, because I think initially he put in $200,000 and now it's worth about $600,000. And so they give him three options, essentially lump sum distribution, fixed income payments from 2 to 12 years, and then whatever's left passes to the beneficiary or my mother, or a lifetime income,
an annuity.
It's 10 years guaranteed, I think. And so I think they're all annuities, right?
Well, the lump sum is not.
Yeah, no. Pardon.
Yeah, and I don't think we want a lump sum because it's too much money and too much taxes. So, is that right? I mean, the lump sum, they'd be charged taxes on the difference between what they put in there, pre-tax money, which is the $200,000.
No. No, you don't. You're not going to take it all out.
No, he says that is an option to get a lump sum.
But you can get a lump sum. This is a qualified retirement account.
Yeah.
No, he said non-qualified.
Oh, it's non-qualified.
No, this is non-qualified.
I didn't hear the non part. Okay, yeah. But here's the thing. There's what you have to do is sit down, and this is the bad part of all this. This is the part that people dread. You have to do the math. No. It's like, okay, what you have to do is sit down. You do the math. You figure out what the tax bracket is, what kind of a hit he's going to take immediately, what it would be if it was paid out over X number of years, and what it would be, how much money you would get as an annuity. And here's what I'm saying. For example, and I'm just, how much money is it? We won't, let me not even.
He said it started at 200 and now it's 600.
Okay, so he put 2 in.
Yep.
It's now 6. And what kind of income does he make?
They make about $6,000 a month with his other retirement income and his Social Security.
Okay.
So I think he's going to get taxed 35%.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Wait,
not?
No.
Okay.
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm just looking at.
Well, if he put the whole amount, he would.
Yeah, if he put the whole amount, yeah, you're right.
If it's a gain of 400, then yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So if he took it out over the course of years, he would spread that out and get his rate down to 20 or so, because he's not in a high bracket, because his Social Security is, if it's taxable, it's barely taxable.
He gets it's $2,100 a month plus my mother's $1,000, so $3,100.
So they make $3,000.
Yeah, so that's probably not.
Social Security's not taxable.
Yeah.
But again, my question: if he doesn't need the money,
he gets
if he doesn't need the money, doesn't need the income, then I like option 2, where you're going to take something out of it, and then whatever's left is going to be passed on to his heirs. I see no disadvantage around that.
Because 3 is giving up the money completely.
Correct. Because they're going to give a guarantee.
Getting an income stream, but the income stream we've run in most annuity cases, you got to live more than 20 years past when you start the income stream for it to be beneficial or start to be beneficial. So it's not until 20 years out that annuity starts to potentially, you have to outlive what the insurance company expects, in other words.
Correct.
So the middle option in your case, I'm with Tom. I think it sounds like the best option.
So if he goes like 12 years, and if he dies, then it goes to my mother to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
And then if she dies, then it goes to the estate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right.
Which is much better than an annuity, because with an annuity, nothing, in essence, goes to the estate.
Yeah. Right. Well, it looks like it's called a fixed period annuity. That's, I think, the option. It says you may select a period from 2 to 12 years.
Oh, it's not just okay. But what is the annual payout over that period? Have they given you a number?
It doesn't say. No.
See, that's the thing. It all comes back down to doing the math.
3.
We have to know the numbers, and these guys are counting on you making a knee-jerk decision. We have to know the exact numbers. We have to know what the taxes would be on the $600,000 exactly. We have to know then what would he do with the remainder after the $600,000 is taxed. Then we have to know what is the exact amount that he's going to get every year for that set period, how much money will remain, and what will the money that's sitting there earn. Finally, we need to know what the annuity payouts would be. And did you say, I heard something about 10 years. Was it 10 years or 10 year?
They give them
certain?
2 to 12 years.
No, on the annuity, on the third option.
It's the fixed income payment. Oh, lifetime income?
Yeah, the lifetime income. Was that just his life?
10 years. It says if you pass away before the end of the period, the remaining payments go to the named beneficiary until the end of the period.
10 years.
Until the end of the period.
Yeah, that's starting to sound like an even worse deal, because it doesn't do much to protect your mother should she way outlive him.
And this is one of the reasons I dislike annuities, because it's so confusing. It's hard to tell what you're getting, how it's all going to work, and at age 90, it's even more confusing.
And it might mean, you want to sit down with an advisor.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I created Vestory to help everyone become a better investor, even those who will never be clients. Let one of our advisors help you start your financial plan or solve a money problem free with no obligation or high-pressure sales pitch at Vestory.com. Vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Hey there, welcome back to our get-together that we call a radio show and then magically becomes a podcast. I don't know how, but it does. No, I make it happen. I'm Don.
Make it happen.
That's Tom. This is Talking Real Money during a crazy time. Crazy time. Summer. Summer's just crazy anyway. I don't know why summers are so nuts. Like this summer, if life doesn't get any further in the way, next week I'm going on vacation for a week.
You're going on vacation.
Okay. Here's hoping. I'm going on vacation next week, Tom says. And then 2 weeks later, I'm going on vacation again.
Good. You need to.
And then the week after that, get this, on top of everything else, I got to go up. And after my mother lives in New York, and I've got to go up there and help figure out her future housing and living arrangements.
Yes, you do.
So
none of it easy.
None of this is easy, is it? It isn't. That's why we're here. We want to help make it a little easier for you, particularly with the financial stuff at 855-935-TALK. And this hour, we're talking a little bit about this thing that really isn't a bear market, but we all kind of feel like it is because we keep hearing the numbers are down. And you look at your account and you go, yeah, okay. I've got one position in my portfolio that's down quite a bit. And I'm thinking right now, actually, literally, right this very moment, I'm looking at it going, I think I need to sell this and take a tax loss.
Which you can do.
Which I think I'm going to do because I figured out I can put it in another ETF that's similar but not identical. And I don't invoke the wash sale rule. So
and then in 30 days, you can put it
go right
back
back into that fund.
Yeah.
But is it a bear market? And if it is a bear market, what does it mean? I don't know that it means a lot.
It doesn't mean a lot. I'll give you, I mean, speaking of vacations, as you know, I just got back from a quote-unquote working vacation in Southern California. And my daughter, who's 14, convinced me to go on this whale watching thing. I've seen whales before. I mean, it's great, right? I mean, it's exciting. Whales
the
and
temptation
dolphins,
is just too great, but I can't go there.
I know. So we get on. I've got on a boat.
I mean, looking at me is bad enough,
I wasn't going to go there.
Right.
We got on a boat that's about as big as the room I'm staying. It was like 12-foot boat, right? Got this little boat, and the captain is, young man from Georgia. I'm thinking, well, what the hell does he know about the
a guy
Pacific
from
Ocean?
Georgia?
Yeah, I know.
I was hoping for somebody from New England at best. A swarthy captain, maybe.
800 men go into water, 300 come out, something like that. But anyway, we didn't get that. And he's telling us as we're getting on this, and it's just the three of us, and it's a pretty small boat. It's like, as I say, 12 feet. That it's been a great day because every time they've gone out, they've seen, you guessed it,
whales,
and dolphins.
Ooh, both.
And on top of that, it's been calm seas. So we haven't had,
Sounds like a good day, matey.
It does sound like it. So we get on the boat and we go behind the breakwater and we turn the corner around the breakwater and it starts getting a little rough. And then it starts getting a little rougher.
Oh, is this the butt whacking you took?
Yeah. And then the boat starts flying. I'm not kidding you. It's going up in the air and wham! And my wife and daughter thought this was, another ride at Disneyland. I'm sitting here petrified, like this thing's going to break in half and I'm going to be scattered. And this went on, I kid you not, for 20 to 25 minutes. About halfway through, I wanted to quit. But I'm thinking, the payoff will be great. We'll see these whales and
now I'm starting to see the analogy is starting to form in my mind.
The water is spraying on me, and I'm sitting there going, if they ask me right now, I'm saying, go back to the harbor, please. I wasn't scared, but I just didn't like it. Yeah, it was hurting my backside in a big way, too, by the way, where I don't have a lot of padding. So we're going on and on and on. I swear at one point I thought we must be approaching the Hawaiian Islands because we just going straight west.
He doesn't exaggerate at all, folks.
And then all of a sudden he's on his Sue, have you seen it? And she's like, yeah, keep going west. I'm like, no, don't go. He's talking to another captain. So we go out there, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, there's these two like turquoise areas, and he's like, there are two whales right there.
Come on. He didn't go, There she blows.
That would have been good. But honestly, and whales are rather large, and
Yes,
so they
they're
both
large.
come out of the water and go down about 3 or 4 times. It was a mom and her calf, and it was amazing. So you just had to ride through the volatility to get the big payoff there, Don. That's the analogy. Is that okay?
I knew he'd get there. I had faith in him. 855-935-TALK. Want to talk money? Let's do it.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's vestory.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
It's the weekend edition of Talking Real Money, the weekend talk show that airs on Northwest News Radio in Seattle every Saturday from noon to 2 Pacific time. But you can call us during that time from anywhere, 3 to 5 Eastern, noon to 2 Pacific, 855-935-TALK. And then this goes on to become the Monday podcast.
And for those, I just got a text, who are worried, yes, I did survive the boat trip. I returned to land and came home. It's okay.
No one asked if you survived because
guy
you're
just
on the
texted me.
Radio.
I don't know. Maybe thought you had an AI or something, just enough of my voice to
Right,
use as you
that
wish.
I can do such a perfect Tom Cock impression. I'm playing both parts. Playing the part of Tom Cock today will be Don McDonald. And look at
You would do it better.
I can talk and do him at the same time. I feel like a ventriloquist.
Oh, okay. What do you say now? Okay, go. Yeah.
We don't always have something to say. Witty ventriloquists like me. 855-935-TALK. I said that. I know what's next. Joe. Joe is next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi.
Hi, Joe. What's up?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
When you first came on the air, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you first came on the air, I think you were quoting from somebody, and you said that you had to watch your risk and your taxes, and you had to be in control of your investments. My question in regard to all that is, when you are involved with the government with investments, how do you control that?
Oh, you don't?
You mean like the...
You can't control
the TSP?
She's talking about taxes. How do you control? You can't control your tax. No. What he's talking about is you can control
I'm not talking about taxes. I'm talking about your investments. How can you control your investments in regard to being in control of those investments if you're invested with anything that has to do with the government?
Like
anything that they sign their signature to overnight, and they say, okay, your annuity is going to change like this. Your 401k is going to change and be like this.
Oh, you're talking about the rules
Sort of
changing.
things.
The rules changing?
Yeah.
Rules do change. Congress has changed the rules on IRAs and 401ks, but only in minor ways. They really haven't made any dramatic changes. It's always your money, but yeah, the government.
And it's always
government can change
pre-tax or
policy.
post-tax.
I guess I'm not following, but I'm not the brightest bulb today.
Give us an instance of this.
Control your investment when you're involved with the government.
It sounds to me, Joe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it just sounds to me like you're really angry with the government just generally.
Yeah, I'm angry with the government.
Okay.
Not the two. I'm angry with the government.
Okay. Why?
Why am I angry with the government?
Yes, ma'am.
Boy, if I got started, you'd hear an earful, and you wouldn't be able to get to anybody else on this show.
Can you give me one thing that makes you
Yeah.
thing about
First of all,
investing?
they should have prevented the war. They
Which-
should have prevented the war.
World War II? Which war?
The one that's going on over there with Putin now and Ukraine. They should have prevented that, and they could have.
Okay. All right. So you wanted the government somehow to tell Russia not to attack Ukraine. Our government. correct? Okay. I get it. Thanks
They
so much.
should have done it.
Thanks,
They
Joe.
should have done it because we don't need that to happen on our planet.
I agree. We don't need that war. I
No,
totally
that's
agree. That
bad news.
we are in full agreement as to the fact that it's bad, but we really appreciate your call. Thank you for being there. War is bad. War. We will all agree.
Well, yeah, war. Yeah, no question.
War sucks.
No question.
But there's also. I don't know.
But this actually raises an interesting point.
I'm glad you found it.
No, there's a point. There's something here thank you, Joe, again for your call. Is if you invest a certain way, knowing that the rules today could change, should you anticipate how they're going to? In other words,
You are good.
tax
at this.
policy. I mean, all those things are today what they are, right? Will they change? Yeah.
Yeah.
Will they change a lot? That's another question. And should you try to anticipate it? We'll take that up after the break.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things we talk about a lot here is this worrying about what's going to happen in the future and trying to anticipate it. Don't go away.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's VESTORY.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
We got to finish the thought here. Before
Yeah,
we
I
go back
know.
to the phones.
I was
Yeah,
going to get
just
to the
realized
thought
that,
finishing because
Yeah.
But I always wondered.
So-
I always wondered though. People who proclaim great hatred for the government. This is just a thought that occurred to me. What is the alternative? Is it? Do they want another form of government?
The government
Okay,
that I want. The government that I want.
It's
the
either
people running it that
do
I
I
want.
want another form of government, which will still be government, by the way,
Yeah.
or
Right,
do I want the opposite of government, which is anarchy?
Yeah, you're not going to like that much. I
didn't think so, but anyway, so yeah, living within the rules, Tom.
Well, again, this comes up often. And by the way, you don't have to think back that hard to a recent example, because going into this year, remember, late last year, Congress was going to change this tax policy. They were going to do this. There was all kinds of discussion about what was going to be different. And there was thousands of words written about this, much gnashing of teeth, et cetera, about how this is going to really mess things up. And then what ended up happening? Nothing. So my take is take tax law as it is, take the rules as they are. Do not try to anticipate what they will look like next year, 10 years, because no one, like the market, no one knows what the future is going to look like.
Ever.
Sorry.
You just work within what you have now.
Exactly.
Because things can change. They can. Then you react to the change, but you can't anticipate the possible changes because you're going to be wrong so often. 855-935-8255. That spells talk. I'm Don. That's Tom, and Dave's on the line. Hey, Dave. Welcome to the program. Hey, Dave. Dave.
Dave's not here?
You're funny. You're funny. You were just trying to do that bit in the break. Dave's not here. Most of you are of that generation.
They're old enough. Yes,
Come on,
they
you know
are.
what? It's funny because we're like in our 60s, and we're referencing drug albums
Yeah, from
from the
40 years ago.
70s.
Yeah, or late, might have been.
Late 60s even? No, I think it was maybe.
All I know is my mom found the disc and broke it, so it no longer exists. She
Your
did
mom
not
broke the
find that
album?
amusing. I believe she did when she finally found. She'd heard it playing before, and then she found it, and that was gone.
And she figured out what it was about. Wow. Dave, are you there?
Yeah. Dave.
He's watching television or something.
Dave,
Let's
what are
hear
you
what
doing
it is.
watching
I just want to
TV?
hear.
Yeah, okay, all right, let's go.
.com.
.com?
It's a .com of some kind.
I worry about him. I mean, I'm just like concerned. You know, every once in a while.
Remember, you had that one call where
Every
somebody
once in a
fell
while.
asleep and had
Yeah, the-
crickets
the-
going for like an hour or something.
Well, I used to do an
remember that one.
overnight show. It was late at night on the East Coast, and we would get calls, lots of calls, even in the middle of the night. And I went to the call, and I hear,
Hell of a show, Don.
and then we turn the volume up, and you can hear crickets in the background. So we go, oh wait, the guy fell asleep on his porch. And it was winter. I didn't know where he was calling from.
This
we
before
were worried.
cell phones.
We were
Yeah,
worried.
right.
So we kept him on the line all night, the entire show.
Kept
And we would
potting him up
check
from
back.
time to time.
We
Yeah,
would
right.
check in to make sure he was still breathing. So that's what we're doing here.
Dave,
This is very strange.
Dave, not here.
All right, cool.
Literally.
Let's. I'm not that worried about Dave. We know he's watching television, and we didn't hear a scream. We didn't hear a gunshot. We didn't hear anything that concerning
Don't even go
except
there.
.com. And
Let's finish the bear market, though.
okay, you could pot Dave down.
Yeah, Dave.
Dave's
We'll try Dave again, but
Dave's not there. Oh. All right, go ahead.
Okay,
Tom.
so but what
This has
what do
not
you
been
tell
my
people?
day, Tom.
Okay,
Tom, you just do
I
the
know,
rest of the
I know
show.
it hasn't been your week. But still, what do we tell people who do not want to invest today because we're in a bear market?
What do I tell people?
Yeah, what do you tell them? I mean, what do you say?
If I had cash, I'd be all over it.
What does that mean?
Over it. I'd be buying
Why?
because
Wait,
it's
when
cheaper.
the market's going down?
Yeah, because it's cheaper than it was. If I was buying before when it was high, why would I not buy now?
So you mean you buy things on sale if you can?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they're gasoline or automobiles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which album, by the way, which Cheech and Chong album was that? Was that Big Bamboo or their first one?
No, the first one. It had kind of a yellowish cover.
Yeah,
I wanna
okay,
say.
that's the first one. Cheech and Chong, by the way, which came out in 1971.
Okay, that was close.
Their first album was 1971.
We'll play that for the balance of the hour. Think I have any copyright issues with that?
You'll have tons, unless they're too stoned
both still alive,
unless
too,
there's
which
too
is-
stoned still to notice and then go after us. So
One of them was in prison for a long time. I forget.
really,
Tommy, I think. Yeah.
wow,
Yeah, because he was in prison at the same time as our pal Jordan Belfort. They were like cabin mates or
All
something.
right, let's go back to the bear market.
Yeah.
Shall
All
we?
right. Okay. But again, here's the thing: the bear market is the bear market. It shouldn't matter to you. The bear market doesn't care about you. Falling stock, they don't care. What cares about you is you. And if you have an advisor, your advisor. You have a plan. Because about
That's
one out of
the
every
problem.
4 years.
You see, you just
in
nailed
stock
it.
markets.
That is the problem. Very, 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 very few people have the plan. That's the thing.
And if you have a plan and your portfolio is down, a 60-40, which has been declared dead more times than Rasputin, is down 11% year to date. Big whoopee. Don't matter. That's part of investing in capital markets, which have volatility. You expect that. It comes along. And this, by the way, is going to be my message here in a couple of weeks when I talk to our clients. This is not unusual. This is not, and we'll talk more about this next hour. This is not the perfect storm. What's the other term? The black swan, whatever term, whatever silly metaphor you want to come up with. It's not that. Will it be bad for a long time? I don't know. But this is what
Do you want to sneak Barbara in with 1 minute
Sure.
left? Hey, Barbara,
Go.
we'll sneak you in. Welcome to Talking Real Money. Barbara?
On Social
Hey.
Security. I
Yes.
sold stock that I inherited because I didn't know any better, and it put me over the IRMA that Social Security has, and I was under the WEP, and it ended up that I lost what little Social Security I was getting that had already been hatcheted by the government.
Well, you shouldn't have
shouldn't
lost
use
it
that
all.
term. Let's just say. No, well, that's because when you're under the WEP, they cut down what you get for Social Security. Because
Right.
I was, it's such a long story, and I know I don't have much time to tell you. But anyway, for federal workers and some others, and teachers and so forth, if you're under the old retirement plan, they came in the new one first. And when that came in, if you were under the old one and you decided not to go on to first, then they chopped your Social Security down.
Yeah,
So I was getting
you got the windfall elimination
That's what WEP stands
that's what
for.
WEP
Correct,
stands
yeah.
for. And this is why, and we've got to run, Barbara, but again, this goes back to why we say it is so important before you make any decisions about money, about Social Security, about taxes, about anything, that you consult with a professional, that you have a CPA or an accountant look at this, you have a planner look at it. You need to know.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at vestory.com, vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Just real quickly, the WEP thing kicks in for people who have non-Social Security covered pensions, like railroad pensions and things like that. And this is why we keep saying over and over and over again, you are going to make mistakes. We all do that. You're going to make financial mistakes, but try to reduce the damage by doing some planning in advance. It's so important that you deal with an accountant or a planner. So if you have some issue coming up, you want to meet with an advisor, our advisors will help you for free with no obligation and no sales pitch. Just set up an appointment at vestory.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future, so past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Capital, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?